Good afternoon, students of Delran Intermediate School. We interrupt this program to give you breaking news from historic Philadelphia.
Live from Philadelphia, this is the 309 News, bringing you the story about Independence Hall. Just to let you know, it is located on 520 Chestnut Street between 5th and 6th Street.
This historic place was State House of Commons of Pennsylvania.
Actually, George Washington presided over the Constitutional Convention in this very building. Interesting fact, the original Rising Sun chair, of which George Washington sat on, is still there.
It was also where the Constitution was signed in 1787. People like George Washington and Benjamin Franklin took part in that event.
People should visit this place because the design of the U.S. flag was agreed upon here in 1777. And the Articles of Confederation were adopted in this very building in 1781. In addition to all of the other historic events taking place here, it is also a good place to visit if you want to learn about history in the colonies. The Constitution was drafted also here in 1787.
I recently learned that was where the Declaration of Independence was adopted. People like John Hancock and Thomas Jefferson were there at the adoption.
Independence Hall is open year-round and the hours are varied by season. However, it usually opens at 9 a.m. and closes at 5 p.m. But please note that security gates close at 4:45 p.m. You can get inside Independence Hall whenever you want to. It's free admission. And if you want to take a tour, you have to get a free time ticket March through December. Also know that tours are available in foreign languages such as Chinese, French, German, Hebrew, Japanese, Spanish, and Russian.
This is the 309 News with
Kendall, Erica,
and Caitlin.
Have a great rest of your day.
Hello, my name is Alex and I am here in Philadelphia with Kayla and Ava observing the Liberty Bell.
The Liberty Bell is located at the corner of 6th and Market Street.
It's open all year round and the hours vary through season.
The bell was originally made in London, England in 1752.
When the bell first arrived from England in 1752, it was hung in the State House. The first time the bell was struck, it cracked.
The bell was recast by Pass and Stowe in 1753.
The State House bell started to be referred as the Liberty Bell in 1830 by people trying to outlaw slavery.
The bell traveled the country in the 1800s to help remind citizens after the Civil War how they once stood together.
It came back to Philadelphia in 1915 and has remained there ever since.
The Liberty Bell is made up of 70% of copper and 25% of tin.
Did you know that the Liberty Bell weighs about 2,080 pounds?
You should come and visit the Liberty Bell Center. It's a fun and interactive way to learn facts and history.
Thanks
for listening and have a great day.
Good afternoon. My name is Lily. My teammates Gwenna and Sam will be presenting information on the historic site of Carpenter's Hall. Here is where this fabulous location, coming from Gwenna.
The address of Carpenter's Hall is 320 Chestnut Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Carpenter's Hall was built for and is still owned by the Carpenters Company of the City and County of Philadelphia. However, this does not represent carpenters. That is why the name is deceiving. Over to you, Sam.
Did you know that people like George Washington, Patrick Henry, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Samuel Adams, and Paul Revere helped compose the Declaration of Rights and Grievances in this very building?
Yes, Sam, I did know that. Now back to the news. Did you know that some members of Carpenter's Hall took part in the Revolutionary War? And in my opinion, that is pretty amazing. In addition, many firsts for America happened in Carpenter's Hall, like the first bank robbery, and it held the first meeting place of the 13 colonies, which soon became the United States. Along with this, Benjamin Franklin occupied the second story of the building to plan the first public library. Back to you, Gwenna.
You should visit this landmark because many historical and important events happened here. One of the most significant events that happened in Carpenter's Hall was the first meeting place of the Continental Congress. During this meeting, participants discussed the Constitution. This is very important to our history, and this is another reason why you should visit Carpenter's Hall.
There are not many restrictions to go to Carpenter's Hall. The hours of Carpenter's Hall are open daily except Mondays. Also, it is closed Tuesdays in January and February. It is open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it is free to the public. Our nation might not be what it is now, so pack your bags and visit the marvelous site of Carpenter's Hall. Thank you for your time. Once again, this is Sam,
Lily, and Glenna reporting live from Carpenter's Hall.
Hello, my name is AJ.
And I'm Chris.
My name's Justin.
And we are live here in Philadelphia at the Declaration House.
To be exact, we're at 7th and Market Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
What happened here in history to make this place so important was that, well, after all, the Declaration of Independence was drafted here, giving us our freedom from Great Britain. Without it, we would probably still be controlled by them to this day.
Thomas Jefferson, the man you know as the person who wrote the Declaration of Independence, rented the second floor of the Graf House, or the Declaration House, and drafted the Declaration of Independence.
The Declaration House also contained a print shop and a diner. It was later rebuilt for the bicentennial of itself.
If you want to come, the Declaration House is open from Wednesday to Friday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. You need a ticket though, and you can get a free one or a reserve ticket for $1.50.
You should come here because this is a very historic and compelling landmark. The famous Declaration of Independence was drafted here. The architect, Mr. Jacob Graf, was the person who built it.
Thank you for listening to our report today.
Goodbye.
Welcome to the 309 News. We are live from Philadelphia. Today we will be giving you the info about the Be Free Franklin Post Office and the Franklin Court. If you are going to visit these landmarks, the Be Free Franklin Post Office is located on 316 Market Street, and the Benjamin Franklin Court is located on 317 Chestnut Street. Cool fact, this is the only active post office that doesn't have an American flag because it wasn't made until 1777, and Benjamin Franklin was elected Postmaster General in 1775. Outside of the Be Free Franklin Post Office and in the Franklin Court, there are ghost structures of where Benjamin Franklin's house once stood. There is not a museum yet. However, it was closed for remodeling and should be open around December 2013. The Be Free Franklin Post Office is the only left post office from colonial times. There is a museum on the second floor for all the history of the post office. The hours of the Benjamin Franklin Court is 9 a.m. to 4:55 p.m. and is open 7 days a week. It is free admission to both places. And this is the 309 News with Kendall, Erica,
And Caitlin,
Have a great rest of your day.
We are live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we are standing in front of the world-famous Congress Hall.
If you wish to visit this landmark, Congress Hall is located at Chestnut Street at 6th in Philadelphia.
If you didn't know, Congress Hall was restored throughout the 20th century to its original appearance in 1796.
During Congress Hall's history, it was once the capital of the United States. During that time period, the United States of America added 3 new states: Kentucky, Vermont, and Tennessee.
I would recommend you visit Congress Hall because there are so many interesting facts about it.
Congress Hall does have visiting hours. Daily, you can get inside from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Congress Hall held its first meeting place of the U.S. Congress.
The House of Representatives met on the first floor.
Also, the U.S. Senate met on the second floor.
George Washington was sworn into his second term of president in this very building.
Visitors are free, and it is first come, first served.
I hope you have thought about this, and I hope you see the Congress Hall on your field trip this May. This is Luke,
Dean,
and Ada,
reporting with Room 309 News.
Have a great day.
Good morning. This is Andre Thomas reporting live at the
First Bank in the United States with
Jacob Steinman
and Jack Poslinger. We'll be giving an exclusive report live at the First Bank in the United States in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 120 South 3rd Street.
This landmark is important because they proposed the first session of the first Congress here in 1790.
This building is not open to the public and is a 3-story building and has a marble front. This building was made in 1795 and it's still standing.
Samuel Blackett and possibly James Hobbing were architects. Alexander Hamilton was the first Secretary of the Treasury and believed the nation needed a bank.
Thomas Jefferson and James Madison disagreed and resisted the bank.
This bank has many shocking facts. For example, this bank took $110,168.05 to build. It is also the future home of the Civil War Museum of Philadelphia.
This is Jacob Steinman,
Andre Thomas,
and Jack Posniak.
Thank you for your time and have a great day.
Good morning, all of you couch potatoes. This is Furkan, Sean, Jacob, and me, Colin. We are reporting live from Christ Church.
If you want to visit this landmark, it is located at 2nd Street above Market at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Christ Church was founded in 1695 as a result of William Penn's charter to start an English colony, which he named Pennsylvania. Robert Smith and Thomas E. Walter were involved in these events. They were architects who designed the interior and exterior of the church. Is there any other interesting information our viewers might want to know, Furkan?
Yes, there is, Colin. Thanks for asking. 5 signers of the Constitution and 6 signers of the Declaration of Independence were all buried in the Christ Church burial ground. Also, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Betsy Ross, Robert Morris, Absalom Jones, Benjamin Rush, John Penn, and Francis Hopkinson all worship there.
And if you come to this landmark, it will be a valuable learning experience and would have a lot of interesting information about the history of the Christ Church.
If you want to visit this landmark, fees are $1 for children, $2 for adults, and $15 per group up to 25 people. Amazing deal for a large group that want to come here. This is Sean, Colin, and Jacob, and me, Furkan, reporting live from Christ Church.
Have a great day.
We are live at the Betsy Ross house with Kara, Maya, Sarah, and Victoria. We have been studying this fascinating landmark. Its location is on 239 Arch Street, Philadelphia. Did you know that some people debate whether or not she made the first flag in this house? Whether she did or she didn't, it probably didn't take Betsy long because she was a professional seamstress. She made a special contribution by making the first American flag for our country. Did you know that she made the first flag in 1775 under instruction from George Washington? Some interesting facts about this landmark is that it was built in 1740. It consists of 3.5 floors and 6 rooms, plus the attic. Betsy Ross was buried near a tree outside of the courtyard. Did you know that Betsy Ross really never owned this house? She rented it between the years of 1773 and 1786. You should visit this landmark because you can learn about the amazing Betsy Ross and the American flag. It is filled with history and knowledge. If you would like to go, then you need to know the fees and the hours. For the fees, it is $5 for the adults and $4 for the children and seniors. If you want an auto tour, it is $2 extra. For the hours, it is open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. This will be a time you and your family will never forget.